Sir, yes. And I also recall, I wasn't in the House, but I've seen it subsequently, that former President APJ Abdul Kalam had referred to Professor Satish Dhawan and said leadership should be like that, where once when a mission failed, he had said not to worry at all. Leave it. I take the full responsibility as the head. But when the next year it was corrected and they achieved success, Professor Satish Dhawan had told our former president, then scientist, APJ Abdul Kalam, the success is due to your team and the success is to you, and as a true leader, gave the credit to the team. Absolutely. Whoever would deny the scientists their contribution. But it doesn't mean that if the Prime Minister of the country stands next to a scientist or a team of scientists who worked for something, and when there is, unfortunately, a failure or a disappointment, to stand by them and say, don't you worry, you will be doing better the next time. And therefore, I read this quote. Honorable Prime Minister stood next to Professor Sivan, the scientist, during the launch of Chandrayaan-2, which in the last minute, unfortunately, broke all our hearts and disappointed all of them as much as the scientific community when it just couldn't land. Standing next to him, who had tears in his eyes, Mr. Sivan had tears in his eyes, Prime Minister had said, last night, when he stood with him, I understood your frame of mind. The look in your eyes said a lot. That is why I did not stay here for long. We might not have reached the lunar surface as planned. You came as close as you could. Stay steady and look ahead. We are full of confidence when it comes to our space program. The best is yet to come, unquote. These are not words of any muscular nationalism. These are truly the words of a Prime Minister who wants to stand next to his scientists, even at the time of disappointment, as much as the time of success. So to decry this and to say, oh, you stop your muscular nationalism, is a bit of a perversion, which I think somebody from Jairam Ramesh's experience, I wouldn't expect. So, and this is not the first time. When in 2014, ISRO had by that time launched 104 satellites at one go. Prime Minister Modi was one of the first one to say, India salutes all the scientists. It was in his Twitter handle. It was there even now. So scientists are being given the due credit, and we shall continue to give due credit. Every government has done it. We also do it. But when we do it, because it's Prime Minister Modi, please don't give any other attributes which are not true. So I'll, for a minute, dwell again on the cost of the mission. And that's one of the interesting facts about Chandrayaan-2, as much as the one earlier also, about the Mangalyaan. One of the most interesting facts is that Chandrayaan-3 mission costed only around $75 million US, approximately 615 crores. These are not final figures because that will have to be finalized through the department, finally tying up every expenditure, approximately 615 crores. Then again, oft-repeated comparison, sir. Our Chandrayaan-3 commanded a lesser budget when compared to some of the movies which are made on space itself. You're making movies on space because we understand better, we want to know better, our future generation should know what it means, and therefore interesting films are made. But those films costed more than actually just Chandrayaan-3. I'll give you a random selection of film names and their cost. Interstellar costed $165 million. Passengers costed $110 million. The Martian, $108 million. Gravity, $100 million, and Chandrayaan, $75 million. As I said earlier, sir, innovative cost-cutting methods are the reason why it took a few days more, but the gravitational pull and also the magnetic fields which drag the satellite and therefore exhaust the fuel, in my pedestrian language, that is. I'm sure there are some scientists who will be here who will sneer at my language, but simply put, that's the reason why they chose the track with which they could reach. Even if it takes a few more days, it costed them less. So I'll come to the point that increasingly India's space programs are becoming Atmanirbhar. And the immense potential of homegrown industries and their technologies are now increasingly helping our expeditions to the space. Chandrayaan-3 benefited from this. I would like to highlight where these kind of Atmanirbhar Bharat has come to interplay with the space program. India actually, through the Chandrayaan-3, has displayed and showcased its capability to design, to develop, and to manufacture high-end equipments which are so required, but all domestically. Now, leading companies like Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL, which provided significant mechanical hardware, and BHEL, the Bharat Heavy Electrical Limited, contributed with their titanium tanks, which was so crucial and actually helped in cutting cost as well, but a very innovative way in which we could do it.